now? I don't know. Is this working? Get back to the creator dashboard. Come on. Come on. Yeah, okay. I think it's working. Excellent. I'm very sorry about that. Let me switch. Sorry. Right, let's start again. Hello, coders. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you, Mr. DB303 for joining. Today we're going to be reviewing the advent calendars. And before I do that, let me just change. There we go. There we go. I just wanted to change the music because it was a little bit loud. This one's a little bit more chilled out. We can think about what we're doing now. Okay, so building a coder's advent calendar. This was a challenge that was way back in, gosh, I forget what month it was now, October, and unfortunately we wasn't able to do November's, thanks COVID, and then December came along, and I was supposed to do it at the start of December, but that didn't happen again, and so today we're doing the review today. Doesn't matter, we're doing the review today, and I've got notes ready, prepared for the next challenge, which will be pretty awesome, I think. So this one is the Coder's Advent Calendar. So let me just go through the levels, and then I'll go through the code, and then I'll talk about the next challenge. So this one is quite a big one. It's quite a big challenge. It's about creating an advent calendar to show what you've learned in 2020 in web development. So as I'll just go through this, we are going to create a Christmas advent calendar for coders. This will be built in JavaScript, CSS, and HTML. When clicking on a day, a modal should appear. This modal will display something in web development that you have learned in 2020. So it's a little bit of self-reflection, what have you learned in 2020? This could be a snippet from a blog post, an embedded video, podcast, or other things that have helped you in 2020. You can use frameworks like Vue or React, but bonus points given to those who use vanilla JavaScript and CSS. The code will be reviewed live on Twitch on the 20th of December, which it is today. I had to double check that. Okay, so there's 6 different levels. You don't have to do all of them. But to finish it off, you would need to get to level 6. So level 1 is to build an interface. So this interface is going to be JavaScript, it's going to be CSS, it's going to be HTML to create a grid of 24 days. So each day must display the day's number, right? So you're presented with a grid of 24 boxes. When a day is clicked, a modal with a title, a description, stroke code, and links to something that you have learned in 2020 will appear. So this is like a pop-up modal type thing. Level 3 is to embed a video. So embed a video tutorial that has helped you in 2020 to some of the modals. Make sure that the modal is mobile responsive. And then level 4 is to keep those modals hidden. So only allow modals to be shown, I'm down here, if the day is or on before the current day. So you can see the days that you've created sort of a day before. So yesterday's day, for instance, you could see that, but you can't see tomorrow's day. So for instance, you cannot click on the 24th day when it's only the 1st of December. But level 5 contradicts that by saying go into the future. So have a little toggle switch that allows you to click onto future dates if you wanted to. And then lastly, the cherry on the top is to animate these things. So animate the days when rolled over, animate the modal when opened, and automatically open the current day and show the modal in a fancy animation. And lastly but not least, make it snow. So we're going to take a look at these. It's a big challenge. It's a big challenge, this one. I will put this down in the chat below. Thank you very much for joining, Mr. DB303. I know that I've got your advent calendar up and running, which is great. So, excuse me. So let's go and download that. So we go into here, and what I'm going to do in this one is, so this is Mr. DB303's. What I'm going to do is I'm going to review the code, and then I'm going to go through the actual days up to today. Yeah, fingers crossed it'll all be fine. So let's copy this, and I don't know if you can hear the rain outside. If I did an ls, this is the directory where I put all of the code. So 2020, and then ls, we need to do make dir of 12, because this is the 12th month, December. CD into 12. And then, have I spelled that right? It doesn't matter. Let's do mkdir of Mr. DB303. And then let's do git clone of Mr. DB303's repo, ls. We've got it. Why do we have two? Oh, because I didn't put it in. Sorry, rm-f advent calendar. Silly me. Let's go into the directory. There we go, and then do a git clone. There we go. Okay, now we're into the right place. Do an ls here. We should see that we got the advent calendar. Is that appearing on the thing? Let's drag that up a wee bit just so I can show you better. Let's clear it down as well. Okay, let's now do an ls, not an os. Go into the advent calendar, another ls. So we've got CSS, data, images, index, HTML, JavaScript, JS, and the README. I'm going to do a quick count of the README. Okay, so the README is a copy of the README on Advent Calendar November, December. Cool. That's great. Let's clear and do an ls. So it doesn't look like there's any there's no package JSON or anything like that, which is good. So that to me shows that it is vanilla, which is nice. I'm interested. What's data? Let's have a little noodle. So let's go into data here. I'm just interested. Days.json. Okay, let's cat that out. Data days.json. Okay, so we've got what have we got? We have a JSON structure of all, I think. Oh, am I seeing days before I should see them? Let's clear that down. I've got a feeling that is the JSON of the structure. That's a clever way of doing that. I was wondering how people would structure these things. That's clever. Okay, let's take a look at cat of, well, an ls of images. Let's have a look in there. Cool, they're all pungs. Cool. Do an ls. I should do a challenge on sprites one day. Let's have a look, see what we got in that style sheet. Okay, and an ls of JS. We got the modal, process data, and snow. Okay, let's get into the code. So we can see here. I will change that name. I think it's got 2 E's in it, isn't it? No, that doesn't look right. Let's just leave it as is. My dyslexicness is getting the best of me. Okay, so let's click on index.html. So we have the doc type. So HTML5. We got the title here. We're using Google fonts, I think. Google API's fonts. Mountains of Christmas. I like it. And Roboto, which is cool. Is it Roboto or Roboto? I can never pronounce that. Okay, so then we've got a wrapper top, wrapper center, content outer, content box, and then we have some line breaks. Click or tap on the door and Santa will reveal a helpful coding snippet, tutorial, or video. Nice. So then we have a div with an ID of window boxes. So I'm assuming this is where they go in here, so populated by JavaScript. It looks fairly clean. We've got a clear float, so I'm guessing there's floats involved in the CSS because there's a clear class here. We've got a label switch checkbox. This looks like the check between the toggle switch for switching between future and past things. And then in here we have a modal. I mean, this is the first time I've seen the code, so bear with me whilst I'm going through it. The modal content, we've got canvas 1. Animation is drawn at this point. It's in the HTML canvas. Okay, cool. I'm not sure what that UYT wrap, don't know what that is, but apparently it's populated by JavaScript. We'll see what that's like. And then we've got some snow, Snow.js from curisbrooks.com. Okay. And a footer here. A nice little hat tip to code challenges. Lovely. Sweet. Okay, so the HTML, the markup seems okay. There's a couple of BRs in here which are a bit placed in an odd way. So, I mean, a BR is like a line break. Not sure why they're in the BRs that are around the Ps, around the paragraphs. We got a line break there, we got a line break there, and then we got a P inside. So, well, it's not inside the line breaks because you don't have elements inside, but it's just a bit weird that there's a paragraph within line breaks. But everything else seems pretty good. Okay, that's the X for the close. Okay, so let's take a look at the JavaScript. So we've got Modal.js, we've got process data, and we've got Snow.js. So the Snow.js, I believe, is from this Curious Brooks. So what I won't review the Snow because this doesn't look like it's although it looks fairly straightforward. So what I'll do is I'll review the Modal, unless Mr. DB303 shouts and says that he wrote that himself, then I will definitely go through it. As long as the Snow works. Okay, so we've got a class here that we can export, and we've got the constructor. That is a nice touch. So we've got some classes going on in JavaScript. Let's have a look at the shape of it all. Cool. Okay, so in the constructor, what are we doing? We're instantiating. We're setting properties. So modal data is an array. Max day is the max day here. Okay, right, I see. ID number, width, height, inner title, p tag text in modal. I'm guessing that's the paragraph text in modal, and then we got the modal height set in percentages. Okay, so maybe we should take a look at. Let's go back to the index a minute. What does it run? Which point does it run? We've got the style sheet here. Where's the JS? So we've got the links. These are the style sheets for the fonts. Here we go. Sorry. Okay. Forgive me. Okay. So process data. Let's tackle process data first before we get into modal. Okay. So process data. I see. So we import the modal from modal. That makes sense. We're using strict. That's good. Allow toggle. Set to false to hide toggle switch option. Okay. So that's like a default. Okay. Let date object is a new date. Current day num. So that's getting today's date. Cool. And setting that as a constant. Designed to only be uploaded in the month of December, therefore, yes, I have spelt it right because you've spelt it right. No need for functionality to check the month and year. No need for functionality to check month and year. Yes, that's very true. Yes, because you're only going to open it in December, right? Yeah. It'd be interesting to see what happens though if you do open it in January. But okay, max day is the current day number. Fine, so that's saying you can only go up to today's date. The current day is that. Isn't current day the same though of the current day num? Isn't that just a duplication? Modal is we instantiate a new modal putting in the max day. So it looks like there's a bit of code dupe going on there. That current day number and current day seem to be the same sort of value. This is in a constant, this is in a let. So the current day can be changed, but the current day number can't. Which makes sense in the sense of every time you click on a modal or a day, the current day would change. Right, okay. Okay, so set up all days. So let's have a look into this. So we do win boxes, document.getElement window boxes. So let's have a look at that. Window boxes is, I think, here. Yeah, so that's an ID. Process data. So get element by ID. That's great because you're only getting the one element. You're definitely doing it by ID, which is fantastic. We're setting the inner HTML to blank, and then we're looping through where we start with a count of 1, and we are getting anything that is less than or equal to 24, plus, and then we're doing win boxes.append child. So we're appending HTML into win boxes, and we are calling create box, and we're putting in a count. So the count would be between 1 and 24 in here. So if we open that up, what we're doing is creates a div box of the month. Day number is used. Choose whether the day is active or not. Designed to be called multiple times in a loop. Gotcha. This point is really, really valid. Like, there's so many functions I see on a day-to-day basis, and you don't know whether or not it's done in a loop or not. It's so important, I feel, and really clever that you've put this in a comment, because you know, if someone reading this might go, oh, you know, they wouldn't know unless they knew that, unless they read all of the code. And so they'll be less likely to put unperformant code into a function like this. Anyway, I'm going into a tangent here. Anyway, so we let a variable called CL name. What is CL? Is that class name? CL name? And we're setting that to box. If the num is greater than the max day, which is the current day num, which is this one. Okay, I gotcha. And now I can't find my way. Create box, here we go. So if the current the number that we've supplied is greater than the max day, then it's box closed. So I guess this is like a switch of the class names. Let el number document.create element div. We're creating a div. We're setting the attribute, setting the ID window plus num. Cool. And then the name. So we're changing the ID for each of these divs based on the number, which is good because that means that we're keeping the IDs unique. Clever, clever, clever. And then this one here is we are setting the class CL name based on here. Okay, that makes sense. And then we've got a para, which I'm supposing is a paragraph, although we're creating an element which is H3, so that's a little bit strange. And then in the inner HTML, we're putting in the number. Okay, so maybe that would be better called heading or something like that. EL is then we're appending the para, which is the H3, into our newly created box, which is the div, which has the ID of window, and then the num, which you supply in here, and then we append that and we return the EL name. EL name is the element. So if I was to redo that function, I would probably change some of the names of these things. EL name, for instance, is actually an element. So we're creating an element, not a name of an element. So that doesn't actually return a string, it's an object, which is off of create div, and then para. And I don't know whether or not to supply the max day as a secondary argument, because here we're relying on a globally defined variable. But if I wanted to make this more self-contained, I would probably supply it. But anyway, I'm nitpicking. So after we create the box, let's do that. So after we create the box, that's it. We've set up the days. So the logic there seems pretty good. Let's have a little look and see where we're at. So that's setting up all the days. That's creating the boxes. Where's that being called? Toggle content. There we go. Okay, so now we've got what looks like an undefined variable here. Let data, then xHTTP does a HTTP XML HTTP request. Okay. Set up the animation variables, canvas window, animation variables, switch frame count, careful of the camel casing, animation lights is a new image, lights.src, images lights, what is this? Ah, nice, I look forward to seeing this. That's twinkly. Okay, so xHTTP on ready state change. I hate that. Not your code. I just, I can't. That in my head needs to be camel cased because everything else is. Okay, xHTML on ready state change. Okay, careful of the double equals. If you do triple equals, you're checking for the data type, and it's much better, I think, to do that. It's more you're hardening the code, so careful on the single equals, because that, for instance, could be a string, right? Okay, so let's response JSON.parse. We're parsing in the xHTTP response text. So this is obviously an event, so I will see where that gets ran in a minute. Let days is response.days. Response.days. Okay, right. So the reason why that's underlined is the fact that there's no knowledge of what response is until this point. Okay, so modal.load load all. Okay, the modal object is what we've instantiated, isn't it? It's up here somewhere. This one. Putting in and passing in the max days. So now we're running a public method, of load all modal data based on here. I'm assuming. Okay. If this I like. If current day is less than or greater than day, then max day, then modal output modal. I like the ternary there, the single use of if. It's in my opinion that's more readable. That's just, and it's less space that you've wasted. So document get element by ID input val dot checked is false. Don't know what that is yet. And then down in here we've got some document get an element by ID jobbies, switch window boxes, add the event listener. Here we go. Process click toggle and then process click. Let's have a little, and then we're doing an open. So this is an event that's on xHTTP, but that's not being called at this point. It's being called here on open. We're opening. Here we go. That makes sense. I was wondering what this was doing. I see now. So we're doing a data.days.json. This is where this lives. I see now. We are doing it asynchronously, and we're sending that across. I see. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Personally, I would have done it in a fetch, but I guess you're planning for different browsers, so you know. I won't look at animate yet. Let's just keep going down this train. So we've got the modal span, modal setup. Right, so we get element by ID, get close, and then that's the second one. So element close, let's have a look. That will be defined somewhere in the HTML. Here we go, close. I think it would pull out that one, would it not? Because you're getting the first one. Modal span, I see. Is there a span there? There is a span. But, oh, that's done by class. Hang on a minute. Hold fire. What am I actually looking at? Get by class name. Oh, of course, it's by class name, but not by ID. So you will get more than one. And even if you get one, which you do get one, because there's only one with a class name of close, I think. From what I can see, there's only that with close. I see, therefore there's only one, therefore you're returning the first one because there is only one. I see. Okay, this could have been done as an ID, I guess, but, you know. Where are we here? Cool, okay, so then we've got the modal. Modal box. On click on this, so this is, right, so this is putting on an event on the modal span. So modal span, oh yeah, that on the actual, sorry. That's the button, the close button. I see. So this is like a switch setting it to be displayed none and then clearing the iframe. This is what that is. I see. YT is YouTube wrap. I understand now. Right, okay. So window.onClick, so this is clicking on the window, passing an event. If the target is equal to modal, which is the object that we've got here, and notice you're using at this point triple equals, which is good. Modal style display equals none. Modal clear iframe. So wait, hang on a minute. Isn't that? So could we not put that in a function and then call that function here and call the function there? Maybe. Okay, again, I'm nitpicking. Creates a div box for the day of the month. Day number is used to choose whether the day is active or not. Cool. Good. All good things. If the day... Yeah. Again, that's that nifty little if statement there. Num is equal to num.toString. Why are we overwriting the variable of num at this point? Where does this go? So that's creating the box. Oh, hang on a minute, wait. Right, I've done this already. I just didn't pick up on this bit here. Num is a number. Oh, I see. So the toString is... Yeah. So that would be an integer. So you pass in an integer. And here you're converting the integer to a string. Right? So you're comparing an integer and an integer. And then here you're saying, well, num is actually down here a string. I see. Okay. No, that does make sense in my head. Yes, that does make sense. It just threw me. I think what I would have done personally, because... Oh no, num is being used down here. Yeah. It just threw me that the variable was the same. You're overriding the variable. Anyway, it's fine. It's fine. Now I need to find where I am. We've done that already. We've done that. Set up all days. create box, set up all days, create box. Hey. Have I just gone through? Oh, yeah, I've just gone through. I've done that and then hit that. Fair enough, no worries. Set up all the days, we've done that. Process the click. ID is parsing in the int. So that's might be how I would do it up here, but whatever. So parsing the int, you could parse the string. So parse the int. E is the event. You're getting the target, the ID, and you're replacing the window with nothing. For clicking on calendar days. So solves issues where only the day number is clicked. So here we're checking if it's not a number. And we're checking whether that's equal to false. So are we saying if it is a number, then we do modal.output modal. Okay. Toggle content, animation, canvas.draw image. So we're defining the width and the height of the canvas window, and then we're setting something up. I'll have a look at that in a mo. Set interval here, and then we're doing a flip. What does a flip do? I think I need to actually see the output of this to get an idea as to what the draw images are performing. But let's just take a look at the modal here. So we've done the constructor, load modal. So all of these start to make sense in my head now. I'm not just looking at an abstract class that has methods. It's load or modal data, passing in the data. This modal data, okay, is the data that we've supplied. Right, okay. And that gets called at what point? Modal.load data on change. And on change is called days data. Does this only get called once? And then we iterate through the current day, passing in the data. Days data. Days data is response.days data. Passing in the days data. Load modal. So would that have all of the data in here? Or would it just... Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? Okay, so output modal, putting in the ID number. So this set ID, this set video dimensions, the inner append child, modal, okay. Some public methods, some setters, and some set max day, set ID, set modal height. Insert clear. So this is putting in the clear for the float, I think. And then set up article box, get modal content. So we're getting the class p tag, text and element, text in modal class. If this ID, this output, this output locked. If the number is greater than the max day. Okay, so if I'm looking at the date, the 24th day, I'm on the first day, then it's locked. If not, we carry on. So this inner is equal to get main content. Okay, this here, I would probably tidy up a wee bit just to sort that out. Just to clarify that I am looking for an empty string. And then here we're doing a vid make YouTube frame. If the modal data, so now okay, so we got our array of modal data. This is the number that we're on, the ID -1, because of course it's So your array would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but the days you've got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have to then remove one. I see. Whoops. And then we make the YouTube frame if we've got tube and it doesn't. Okay, so tube, I'm assuming, is the URL for the YouTube video. And if it isn't empty, then we create the YouTube frame. I see. And then we pad out frame. Okay. Set up article box. Output link, output locked. Get main content. So this day is locked. So this happens when the day is if the current day is greater than the max day. This is the locked. So we look like we are supplying that. Please come back later. That's cool. Let me drink some tea. Okay, so get main content, pad frame. I think a lot of this will become clear when I actually see it in visual action. I'm just looking at the logic. Again, that's that, and that's the href article link. href setting the attribute qualified name as href, and we're getting the link. Okay, I see. Okay, that's the URL which would come from the tube, right? Yes, it would be this. You make YouTube. Okay, let's have a look at that. Setting all the attributes. That's all clever stuff off of this URL. Cool. Insert break. Okay. No need for 2 lines there, but don't know why we would. I'll have to have a look. Get the width. Set the video dimensions. That's clever. So we're looking at the current width, and we're adjusting that if it's bigger, if it's greater than 600 but less than 860, we force it to this. Clear the iframe. Okay, so this is now removing the iframe. I was wondering how people would do that. So if EL is not null, while EL first name, what is EL? EL name is get element by ID name. If it's not, why would that be in a while though? While EL first child. Wouldn't it work if we got the parent off of this and then deleted just the child, the first child from the parent? And I mean, this to me suggests that there's more than one child underneath, because we're looping through each one and we're removing them, but surely there should only be one. The iframe contains a YouTube video if relevant. This is called to ensure that the video can't play. Okay. It's interesting how you've approached this. Yeah, let's have a look at the CSS. Okay, so we got a reset jobby going on. Cool. I think the background URL, the background image, and the positioning and the color can all go in one line. So there's a couple of places here where it could be minimized down. And this, I think, needs to have a measurement, I think. like percentage or pixels or whatnot. The font families are repeated, so it might be worth maybe moving those up to the body. Same with the H2s, maybe putting like a H2, oops, yeah, I am writing. H2, oops, H2, sort of H3, have we got H4? Yeah. And then putting commonality stuff in here. So doing like that instead of having, and then overriding those underneath, because that would help with the nature of cascading. There's also the color white that could go up in there too. And then you're only changing the font and the font sizes, aren't you? And the letter spacing. Just to sort of look at the CSS, see if there's any commonalities of your classes. This is a step that can only be done after you've done the actual classes, and then go, actually, okay, we could reduce this by not having the same thing again in each of these, putting them in a single class, and then cascading them underneath in case we need to alter the default. So we set the defaults first, and then for each one we then put in their specific elements or specific values, attributes. And then we've got the ability to override the default if needed. No need for the PX on the 0. What's that? It looks like there's duplication on here. Where's the next one? Somewhere there's duplicate. Oh, I'm seeing it here. Lines 142 to 195. So yeah, just a couple of points on the CSS. Just, you know, to look at ways to reduce the code, remove duplication, and sort of a general tidy. But the code itself, I mean, the JavaScript, the HTML, and the CSS, there doesn't appear to be anything screaming out to me as a potential flaw. So let's get into the code. So as this is HTML, I should be able to just open the index, and of course it's opened it in the wrong browser. Let me do that in here. Okay, click or tap to open the door. Okay. Not sure why it isn't appearing. If we do dev tools, so access script. Oh, it's this silly cross-origin jobby, isn't it? Okay, it's probably because it's looking for classes that are, or files that use HTTPS, and this is obviously not HTTPS. Okay, well that's unfair. Let's I know that you've put this on Netlify, I believe. So let's have a little look. I think I have it here. Do I not? Yay! Okay, so this is what it looks like. I like that. I like that. Let's see what it's like if I bring it down. Nice. And because one of the things was to do it responsively, so let's do dev tools. Go into here. That's an iPad. Let's do a iPhone 5. Let's get crawl. That's nice. That's nice. So today is day 20. It is. This is your lights. This is the lights that are flickering. That is so cool. I like it. Let's come out of dev mode. Whatever this is. iPhone thing. That's nice. I like that. That's a nice touch. Careful with the length of these things. I noticed that I did notice that in iPhone 5 I think it was cut off. Let me just double check that. Yeah, can you see it's got a little bit of horizontal scroll? So maybe put some sort of word wrap around this with some width. But it works fine on desktop. Okay, today's day is finding the browser width in JavaScript. That's quite topical. Article on how to get the width of a browser in vanilla JavaScript. Let's have a look at this. How to get browser width. I'm going to put this in the chat. So this is day 20. So I'm trying to get the current browser. Update for 2017. Wow. Gosh, 2017. What a year was that? That was a good year. So yeah, this works fine. I mean, this is great. This is really, really good. So clicking that will take me to right. Okay. One thing I would suggest is to do this on blank. So the target on blank, so it doesn't take you away from this. That's why I did it in a new tab. Okay, and right. Okay, so clicking away from there, I've got back. That's good. That's good. So click or tap on an open door, and Santa will reveal. Helpful coding snippet tutorial video. Oh, I like it. I like it. Okay, what happens if so it's animated. I love it. Ah, oh, that's nice. That's a nice touch. And if I toggle to unlock, that is cool. Is it me or does Santa look grumpy? Let's have a look. No, he's not grumpy. He's happy. I wonder what he's looking at. He's not grumpy. He's got a cheeky grin on his face though. I wonder what that's holly, not mistletoe. Anyway, let's put the toggle back on. That is cool. Okay, so if I was to click on one of these, what's that say? The day is locked. Please come back later. So that is the output locked thing that we had. Nice. And I like the way the snow is coming down from this corner and it's going over the modal. I was wondering how people would do that with the snow and essentially a pop-up. And can you see it doesn't just so there's a snowball, and if I click on that, the snowball's there. So it doesn't refresh the page or anything daft. It works within it. I like it. I'm going to just do a quick view source though, because there's something I want to just have a look at. Let's go to the elements and have a look at the wrapper top here. Not the wrapper, sorry, the wrapper here, the ID center. Okay, so all of these are snippets of snowflakes. Okay, cool. Woo, loads of them. That's the footer. Content outer. Content box. So they're the BRs. This is the window box. I just want to see, so we've got all of the boxes. H1. Aha! This is the modal content. Canvas 1. Day 23. Day 23 is okay. So if I was to click on day 24, right, that changes. And if I come out of that, I see. So we're setting it to display none rather than removing the element. I see. I see. Right, so, okay. That's fine. That's fine. It's a different way to how I would do it, but that's fine. I would, if I was to click on the close, I would remove the element rather than hide it. And I think that might be that might help with that while statement, because the modal would be deleted, and therefore everything in that modal, in that div section, would be deleted, and then you would just have the modal content available. Anywho, let's click on another one. So let's start from the top and work down. So let's click on here. Okay, number 1. I haven't done this yet, so I don't know what's behind these doors. Let's grab some tea. I do like it. Spot on with the font size and font family. Number 1. Oh wow! Hello. I think I know who that guy is. A video from freelance web developer Peter Fisher on programming and emotion. Oh, thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Gosh, I remember doing that. That was back in the old house, and that was my Lego chessboard. Gosh. Blast from the past. Thank you. I'm glad you liked that video. Number 2 is creating a modal in JavaScript and CSS. Nice. So instructions on how to create a modal in JavaScript and CSS without using a framework. Let's click on you. Good old W3 schools. Nice. Yep. Oops. Number 3. Reading a local JSON file in JavaScript. This is clever, you know. You are I'm seeing where your mind has gone. You are looking at these things and the challenges, and you're breaking them up, and you're looking at solutions, and then you're using the things that you found the solutions for as the content. That's clever. It's interesting, isn't it, that W3C Schools runs ASP. But anyway, so this would be the XHTML. It is XHTTP XML job. There we go. So yeah, it is on ready state change is all lowercase. I find that so weird. I find that so bizarre. But it is. Excellent stuff. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Number 4. How to use curl in PHP to extract data from a web page. An article video on how to use curl functionality in PHP to automate extracting data from a web page. That's cool. Oh, I'm going to use these as bookmarks for my own stuff, because that would be certainly handy. Awesome. Day 5 is a video explaining unit testing. Good. I'm very happy that you put testing in here. A video explaining unit testing in PHP using PHP unit. This is the first video in a series of 10. Who's the person who's done that? Code course. Sweet. A guide to taking your first steps in Z80 assembly language. What on earth were you doing in Z80 assembly language? That is so cool. Who's that? Salone. Was I on 7? Oh my god, it's this fella again. Oh, I remember when I was doing those silly... Look at me and my pointy fingers. Okay, something to do with arrow functions. 8. A talk from Kelvin Henney on how many seemingly new programming approaches were discovered decades ago. Yes, this. I want to watch this. I'm going to put this in my own notes. Give me a second. I'm stealing this. Because this is a topic that I've been thinking about. Like, a decade ago, there were so many... It was just like a big, massive bang of programming. Wasn't there? And it was like, these are all the different paradigms, methodologies, and it was just like... And, yeah, it's just the history of it is just fascinating. So I'm going to put that in my notes. Because I want to watch that later. Thank you very much. And I will go through the rest and have a look at the other videos too. So number 9, MPJ, good man, losing motivation. I miss him. I miss MPJ. Come back, MPJ. Fun function. If anybody doesn't know or hasn't subscribed or just hasn't watched his videos, brilliant stuff, great stuff. Where was I? Was that 9? Yeah, that was 9. Let's go 10. I've seen that video myself. A lot of his content hit home, it was so, and he was MPJ was fun function, dev tips. They were great inspirations, and they still are. Just to do with the video quality and the audio quality and the presence that they had on camera. It was something to be... It was inspiring. It really was inspiring. They're really good. Okay, so the number 10 is to copy-paste to the clipboard using JavaScript. Again, I'm going to put this in my notes. This is so cool. Let me share this with you. Let me put this in the chat. That's something I've been interested to know, because on the How to Code Well website there is code snippets in the code notes, and I would like to be able for people to press a button that copies the code snippets to their clipboard. That'd be interesting. Let's have a little look. Let's see if we can look around it. Yeah, that's essentially what I want to do. A copy button. This thing here. Okay. I'm surprised that we haven't hit a GDPR cookie thing. Was that 11? I forget. No. Oh, it's another MPJ job. Number 11 was a video from MPJ of fun function on why coders are herd animals. I haven't seen that one. His thumbnails are brilliant. Number 12 is outdated UX patterns and alternatives. That's going to be an interesting read. Carousels. What's large background images? Oh, I see. These are the things that used to be the thing. Mega menus. Mega nav. Can I have a mega nav, please? What would you like to have on it? Everything. Okay. Oh, damn. Now we're going mobile. What do we do? Yeah. This looks like an interesting read too. 12 was... Oh yeah, we're on 12. 13. Dedicate a website to the question of should I use a carousel? What? Should I use a carousel? So, should I use a carousel? No, seriously, you really shouldn't. Why not? Let me tell you. 1% of 1%. I didn't read that. What was that? 1% clicked a feature of those 18. What? 80. I think they're proving the point here. 89%. What? Come on. 1% of clicks for the most of. Okay. We have tested rotating offers many times. Okay, you're going too fast. But I think you're proving your point. I like it. Okay. Where was I? 14. Another one from MPJ. In this video, MPJ explains the growth stages of a programmer. Oh, man, he's done so many good things, hasn't he? 15. Who is this guy? Where did he get his scissors from? He doesn't need a haircut. Look at him. Cutting corners in web development. This is a video I did a while back. I'm blown away by this. Thank you very much, Mr. DB, for putting my videos on here. That's very kind of you. Number 16 is Present and Correct, an art and design blog, an inspiration site for retro design and colors. Also sells stationery and office objects. Oh, okay. Again, in my notes. I didn't get the H on that. Let's put that in my notes. I'll have a look at that later. And that was 16, was it? Was that 16? Yeah, that was 16. 17. An in-depth PDO tutorial by PHP Delusions. Yes, this is one I've used myself. I know it quite well. This is really, really good. A good explanation and a how-to guide of using PDO. The only proper PDO tutorial. And I agree, I must say. It's very good. Very good. If you are a PHP developer and you're looking to connect to a database and you want to know what the different what PDO is, what MySQL, how to connect to MySQL, and how to do it properly, then check this out. I'll put this in the chat too. This is really good. Thank you for putting that. I'm glad you found that, because that's it's encouraging for me as well, because it's like, oh yeah, other people do read you the things that you read too. Was that 17? Yeah, let's do 18. Blah, 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 blah. Let's have a cup of tea. A sprite animation in JavaScript using Canvas. Okay. Let's click on here. Create a sprite animation with HTML5, Canvas, and JavaScript. I see. Oh, hang on a minute. Is this where you got the idea from for the lights? Canvas ID, coin animation. Yeah. That is cool, though. It's a spinning coin. It's like a spinning coin on like Sonic or something. That is ace. I like it. Okay, cool. Number 18. Number 19 then. When we're getting close. He's having a bit of a party this Christmas, Father Christmas. Let's click on this one. Okay, 25 years of PHP. Oh, I haven't seen this. Who's this by? Coding Tech. Coding Tech. I haven't heard of that. Let's. I'm going to put this in my notes. Stealing that. That's a talk on 25 years of PHP. Now, Rasmus, the creator of PHP, yeah, I saw him at a conference, and I was able to have a little conversation with him. He was being hounded by other people who just wanted to take photos and shake his hand, but I was trying to have conversation. But he's a very nice fella. Very, very nice guy. Very humble, very down to earth. And extremely approachable. Number 20. Today is day 20. Woo! Finding the browser width in JavaScript is the thing that we're on. And I think I've seen this. This is the Stack Overflow post, isn't it? Yes, I have. Cool. Okay, and the fact that I can't access 21 or the others is good. I will, however, just hit the toggle switch. Now, I know that I'm not going to look at that, but I know that I can, so I'll leave that closed. That is really good. That is really, that is damn good, that is. That is so... I'm very impressed. I am very impressed with all that work. So much work has gone involved. And it's not just the code, it's the animation, the thought process, the way it looks, the feel. It's good. It's good. And just little touches. Open on here, and then do not disturb. Hang on a minute, have they changed? Yes, you hover over it, it says access denied. Yeah, it's those little touches. And I do like Santa. That is so clever. You've done really well there. Really well. As I mentioned, yes, it was definitely a tricky challenge, and hats off. Like I said, there's a couple of things in the code, things like making the CSS a little bit cleaner, not having so much duplication, and the variables having better type checking. You can attack this in many different ways. This isn't the way I would personally attack it. I'm more of a OOP kind of guy, so I would probably look to create classes for various different things, and then use and then pass in the day's data to that particular class to then hydrate and populate those things. So I would have a class for, say, video, a class for article, a class for I would even have a class for the modal. I mean, I know you've got the modal class, but the modal class would just be the ability to open and close, and then instantiate whatever other class, say the actual content class. So you would have a content class for the article, the video, podcast, perhaps, and other things. And you would run that through some sort of polymorphic sort of routine to say, this is the ID of the day. Go and find that from the JSON that we have, and then based on maybe like on let's have a look in the data array in here, the days, maybe having like a type, maybe a type to say that this is a YouTube video, this is an article. At the moment, that logic is based on whether or not this is empty. And I would have it a bit more explicit. So have a type to say article, YouTube, video, whatever. And then maybe turn this into, and then this is the referential data. I would have a class for video, class for article, podcast, as I mentioned, and then this would be the properties that would be hydrated against that object. So this would basically look like the properties of a class instance for that, and then in the not in the modal, but maybe in the process data, use more of a, I guess, more of a factory approach. So having like a make function to make that particular content be displayed, passing in the data. It's just, it's a different way of approaching it. That's all. And I'm not saying one is better than the other. It's just it's just the way I would tackle it. But this just proves that there's more than one way to do it. Definitely. definitely. And with a challenge this size, you know, it's yeah. There's so many different ways to do this. So many different ways. Yeah. But on paper, this is great. You should be really impressed with yourself. This is worthy of a portfolio, in my opinion. Well, all your challenges have been, you know, worthy to be put on a portfolio as a link. Yeah, really, really good, really good. So glad you did it in vanilla JavaScript too. Okay, so thank you for that, Mr. DB303. Let me grab some juice. Okay, we're going to go through the next challenge, which is going to be unto the end of January. So we'll go through all of January. So what I'm going to do is just bring up the code challenges repo, which is this one. And I do have these on notes. Now, this is going to be tough. This is going to be tough. It's going to be PHP based. It's going to be command line based. And it's going to... There's not going to be a lot in terms of code, but there's going to be a lot in terms of thought, I think. So, what am I on about? And it's kind of like a double-edged sword. Well, we're going to bring this up to... We're going to create a new folder in here called 2021. Or are we? No, let's not do that. Let's not do... it is 2021. Let's do a new file in here. Actually, let's copy September. Paste that into here. And it is January. Okay, cool. Let's just get... Yes, let's add that to the thing. Oh, let me just thought. Let me get into the actual thing, because I need to obviously code challenges. I need to change the branch, don't I? Git. Have I done a poll? I don't know. No, I haven't. Okay, git checkout. -b, and we're gonna do features Jan 2021. Okay, there we go. And 2021 January. So this is 2021 January. The date set will be the 12th, 20. Yep. Okay, so this is going to be PHP CLI one-liners. I felt evil when I was coming up with this. So it's all going to be PHP based. And okay, I think what I'll do is I will come up with the title in a second. Okay, so a series of PHP one-liners to run liners that run on the command line. Okay, so let me do the levels, and then what we'll do is I'll go through, once I've put this down, I'll go through and go into more detail as to what they mean. So the first one, level 1, is going to return. So let's do RSS feed. Okay. So level 1 is to return the HTC podcast feed as XML on the command line. Level 2. So these are all individual challenges. They don't link up. These are all individual tasks. And the idea is that I'm going to, because they're one-liners, I'll be able to run them against my terminal with the workings. Okay, number 2 is to randomize the alphabet. The level, I've put in a double hash there. Level 3 is to count names in an array. In a array. Level 4 is to sing happy birthday. Sing happy birthday. It's not really singing, it's more of display the text, the display the happy birthday song. Level 5. Now all of this is going to be done in one line. Level 5 is to output the contents of the current working directory. Directory, D-I-R. Right, so directory. All right, so let's give these a little bit of body. So level 1 is to return the HTC podcast feed as HTML. So a series of PHP one-liners to run on the command line. Each example must be performed on a single line. And yeah, each example must be performed on a single line of code. Okay, and ran in the terminal. Now, this can be done on Windows or it could be done on Mac or Linux. It doesn't matter. So the first one is to return the HTC podcast feed as XML. So the feed is this. That is the feed. This is the... Okay, level 2 is to randomize the alphabet. So, display or return the alphabet in a random sequence. Okay, level 4, count the names in an array. The names are going to be, so count the values in, and this is the string. This is the string. So the names are, or not the string, the names. So names is equal to Pete, Kim, Jim, Pete, could tell I didn't have my imagination when I was coming up with these names. Kate, Billy, there's another Billy, another Kim, and another Kim. So what I want what I want on the output here is to return an array that shows a count for each of these names. So that shows the account for each occurrence of the names. I can't spell occurrence, obviously. You're more than welcome, Mr. DB303. That's perfectly fine. Level 4 is to sing happy birthday. Okay, so again, in a single line. I don't want to see code that goes on multiple lines. This has to be on one line. Return the following song. Let me just put in your... Now the trick here is to deal with the fourth line. So there we go. As this is bash, let's do that. Okay. Replace your name with your name. Okay, level 5, output the contents of the working directory. So use PHP to access the shell and return the contents of the current working directory. Okay, so like I said, each of these are quite they're quite individual. Like they don't join up. Not like the other challenges that we've done. This is more to do with like getting a feel for playing with the command line, and also coming up with these sort of solutions to these challenges. So the first one is an RSS feed. So return the HTC podcast feed as XML. The second one is to randomize the alphabet. So return the alphabet in a random sequence. Number 3 is to count names in an array. So return an array that shows the count for each of the occurrences of these names. Let me change that quickly. I can't spell occurrence, can I? Cannot spell occurrence. Thank you for that, Google. Of these names, return an array that shows a count for each occurrence of these names. Level 4 is to display the happy birthday song. Return the following: happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday dear your name, happy birthday to you. And then obviously replace your name with your actual name. Your name or Twitch, Discord, username. Okay, level 5 is to output the contents of the current working directory. So use PHP to access the shell and return the contents of the current working directory and display rather than and list. Okay, I'm giving you some hints there. Use the shell and list. So there's a couple of hints there. Shell and list of the current working directory, the CWD. Okay, and okay. So why is that? Yeah, a series of PHP one-liners that run on the command line. This can be Windows, Mac, Linux. You can use... Now, the challenge with Windows is that I don't have a Windows machine. So maybe we should just... So I will be able to get one in time. And then we'll work through it. I'm sure I'll be able to get some sort of emulation going. Or actually, maybe just to this can be done on the Windows. It could be done on the WSL. Is it SL? Is that, or is it DSL? I forget what it is. Let's just have a look. There is an actual name for it, isn't there? I haven't actually used it myself. Yes, the subsystem, WSL, the subsystem for Linux, WSL. I've never used it myself, but I obviously will when we get to this point. Okay, each example must be performed on a single line of code and run in the terminal. Each level, each example. Okay, cool. Does that make sense? Is that making a bit of sense here? So a series of PHP one-liners that run on the command line. You can use... Oh, that doesn't make sense, does it? You can use... You can use Windows, WSL, Mac, Linux, each example. And I tell you what, this is going to be a bit different from the other challenges. I am going to do this challenge myself. I think it's only fair that I will do this myself. In fact, as I was doing these things, I was actually writing the code to make sure that what I'm talking about does actually make sense. So I have code. That's why I'm going to do it. So cool. So this is a PHP specific thing. Let me see if we can get this up on the... we did, do I have I can't remember if this has a makefile. Do I have a makefile on here? No, I'm gonna have to build one. Oh gosh, it is nvm use stable. Actually no, let's just use that because I've changed that. So then let's do npm run. Is it develop? Yeah. Oh, and I should say on the timing of this stuff, let's do that. So the code, your code will be reviewed on Twitch. Will be reviewed on Twitch on January. Load up the calendar. January the... Let's go for the 31st. That's the last day, Sunday of January. Will be reviewed on Twitch on Sunday the January the 31st. Cool. And let's see, have we built that already? It's still building. What's this? Yes, warning. Okay, let me see what that looks like. Okay, PHP CLI one-liners. Let's put in a, that needs to be capitalized. One-liners. Okay, a series of PHP one-liners that run on the command line. You can use Windows, WSL, Mac, or Linux. Each example must be performed on a single line of code and ran in the terminal. Your code will be reviewed on Twitch January the 31st. Let me just change some of that wording around. So you can use Mac or Linux. Each example will be performed on a single line of code. Each example will be performed on a single line of code and ran in the terminal. Yeah. Cool. Okay. So level 1, I need to change that. This is the RSS feed. Oh yeah. No, this is the RSS feed link. I suppose I could probably turn that into a link, right? The RSS feed. So that would be like that, I think. There we go. The RSS feed. Randomize the alphabet. So return an alphabet in a random sequence. Level 3 is to count the names in an array. So return an array that shows a count for each occurrence of these names. Names. S. Names. Okay, and then display happy birthday song. So return the following song. And I'm going to do this. Return the. Replace each line in the song should be a line in the terminal. Should be output as a line in the terminal. So what I don't want is like just a single string of that. Terminal. Yep. Level 5 is to use PHP to access the shell and list the contents of the current working directory. Okay, that's cool. Happy with that. PHP CLI one-liners. That is the January challenge. It's PHP. Cool. I am going to come out of this. Do a git git status, sorry. It should only be one file. Git add. Git status. Okay, git commit. Minus. Actually, let's just double check before I do this. That should go to localhost, and then previous challenge October. Hang on, wait. Why is that? Oh, I've killed it. Ugh. Sorry. Let's do a develop. And whilst that's going on, let's go over to here. Okay, so that's still running. I just want to double check. If I clicked on this, sweet. Now go to the current challenge. Yeah, that's good. Okay, cool. Groovy. Happy with that. Okay, so let's do a git commit -a minus well, there's no need, -m, adding Jan 2021 challenge. Off you go. Push that up. I can't spell push. And I'm probably going to have to do origins and all that jazz. Probably, yep. Origin features Jan -2021. Off it goes. Off it goes. Let's get to GitHub. Let's get to where are we? On here, coding. Let's look for challenge. There we go, coding challenge. Good. Compare and do a pull. Let's have a little quick look at this. So I want to put it in base master. That's fine. Create a pull request. There's video support. Did you see that? Huh. There should only be one file changed, and that is the file. That's all changed. That's looking good. Okay, good. So we will wait for those checks to run, and then I mean, I think it should be fine. This is just Netlify doing its thing. This branch contains no conflicts. You can open this up. Has this actually started? Started 42 seconds ago. No. And yes, I can force it through. It's been forked. Where is this being forked to then? Who's forking my stuff? Ah, okay. That was a spelling mistake. Fair enough. Okay, I'm getting impatient now. Come on, 2 ticks out of all of this. And I'm thinking that maybe this could be a tradition for How to Code Well in January, because January is a really sucky time, I think, because you've had December, you've had your Christmas, and this year's going to be a little different, shall we say. And I think these challenges are quite difficult, these one-liners. It's a different way of thinking. It's like you are looking at the code in a way that is not supposed to be tidy. Tight maybe, but not tidy, not clean. So it's a different way of thinking. And I think maybe that we should do this on all the Januaries. So we have a one-liner thing for like JavaScript, Python, in January. Come on, why is this taking so long? Why is this going so slow? But I'm glad it makes sense. I'm glad it makes sense. That is such a good advent calendar. And of course, if you've got any questions about this, then do let me know. Put it in Discord, in the Code Challenges channel or the Coding Help channel. That'd be great. And I will, like I said, I'm going to do this myself. So I'll supply the code if anybody needs a hand or needs a sort of a point in the right direction. There are places on the internet where you can find this stuff if you need to. How's it going? Still only 2. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is just wait until this is ready, and then I'll do a merge. Yeah, Whilst this is going, I should mention that we have released version 1.6 of the simple image grid. So this simple image grid is what is used on, and I actually deployed it yesterday on the beta site. So this is, I deployed it on the beta site and the production site. This is the component that I created. And if we went to here, we can see that it's the same. Let me do a hard refresh to get those back. Yeah. So this grid of icons is simple image grid, which is a React component that I created where you put in some configuration about the link, about the image, about the configuration of whether or not you want a header thing to be shown. You can also pass in your own CSS if you wanted to, and then you just run this and it spits out that wherever it's gone, this. And I'm thinking of doing this for all the other tweaks and things, all the other UI stuff on the website. So for example, in courses, I can't show you on the live site, but it will be in production. So if I did courses and then went into one of these courses, for instance, let's just quickly log in as you. See all courses. So the next thing, the next React component I would like to tackle is this here, because I know the beta testers have spotted a problem with this button. So I can't click on it until I actually get to the word. So this isn't actually clickable, nor is this, which is a bug. You can only click on the actual text here. So what I'm thinking of doing is having a React component called simple tabs or something like that. I'm trying to follow the trend of simple things. And so simple tabs, because what I want to use eventually is these React components in the content management system. So I want to use this as a way of sharing the components. So we'll have a component for this, we'll have a component for this and these things and all other bits and pieces. And I'm thinking of doing this all open source rather than doing it private, and using the website more as the front end website more as a container of these components, which also holds the business logic, obviously. But the components themselves will be individual sort of things that can run. So for example, the simple image grid, if we went to the npm simple image grid, it has an example of you can run start on that. I might actually do this as a Netlify thing, maybe. Like a subdomain for each one of these components, so you can actually see them run. That's an interesting thought. Yeah. So yes, and each one of these components is testable as well, so you can run the test. It's very simple. It's a very simple component. That's all. That's why it's called simple grid. Anyway, how are we getting on with these things? If we refresh the page here, is it still doing these? Gosh, that's annoying. Okay, what I'm gonna do, although it is 3 natural and 2 successful checks. Oh, hang on a minute. Is this saying that this is already? Let's do details. I think this is saying that it's already processed. Yes, I think it is already. So these are natural. Okay, all right. I think what I'm going to do is merge this now. It's got a green ticker next to it. So I'm going to do a merge. We're going to confirm the merge. And I'm going to delete the branch. And that should have fired off a change to this eventually. It won't be instant, obviously. And then that'll be the challenge ready for January. Yeah. So what I'm going to do now is shoot off and grab some Sunday food. Thank you ever so much for watching, and thank you very much, Mr. DB303, for submitting that challenge. That was really, really good. I think we'll come back to that challenge throughout the streams in the next few days, and have a look at the next things that is on your advent calendar. And I think maybe this should be a recurring theme every year, to build an advent calendar or spruce it up, change it, and maybe even tackle it in different frameworks. But that's really good. But anyway, I'm going to shoot off and grab some dinner. But thank you ever so much for watching, everyone. Happy coding, and I'll see you Tuesday morning. Tuesday morning, touch wood. I should be here Tuesday morning at 7 in the morning, normally. But anyway, take care. Happy coding. Bye-bye. How many times can one person say happy coding? Bye. They've changed the way you stop the streams these days. They have.